Yo, what's going on? I'm Marcus. You're at the channel of the Debt Free Dad, where we're talking finance, current take, current topics, stories that I just think are hilarious that the people need to know about. And we also follow my family's journey as we try to make our smart moves with money. Hey, as always, I got to give the disclaimer. I'm a licensed attorney, but this isn't legal advice. This isn't financial advice. This is merely me giving my take opinions on financial takes and current events. Hey, if you need a professional in anything, get the hell out of here. Don't come over here expecting no professional advice. That's for the Bar Association. So now I'm covered. Now, in today's video, this video is going to be dope because we got a special guest and we are going to talk a little bit about finances, fitness, and flued out. So I think we all clear on what finances and fitness are, right? But the flued out topic is going to be an interesting topic because one, I got a funny flued out story that I think I'm going to tell, not about me getting flued out. I ain't had that luxury yet. I'm not flu outable. But we're going to dive into those topics. I guess today her name is Jasmine Janae. I actually put her YouTube channel information in the description box. I'm updated to make sure I put all her other social media. And I tell you how I stumbled upon her channel. Early on when I started, I was like, man, I like following people, and she was doing a, debt-free journey type of thing. And as I started to check out her channel, it kind of evolved from her talking about a debt-free journey to a little bit of fitness to a little bit of lifestyle. The next thing I know, I was tuned in and like, man, I was watching it just to see what was going on with her everyday activities, what she had going on. So let's go ahead and introduce our guest. Y'all make sure y'all go show some love to all her social, everything I put in the description box. Let me go ahead and tag her in. Look, as soon as you laughed soon as brother just clicked on it and you start chuckling. Nobody even said nothing funny.
That's me.
It's cool. Hey, I knew it would be fun because this lady has this sister has a very big personality. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Let everybody know where they can find you at before we dive in.
Well, Marcus already said I am Jasmine Janae. You can call me Jasmine. A little bit about myself. I have a little small YouTube channel, and I would categorize myself as a lifestyle channel. So you get a little bit of everything. I did start my debt-free journey, which I'm still on. I don't make a lot of content about it anymore for reasons we'll probably discuss later. Maybe not. I don't know. So you can find me, of course, here on YouTube, Jasmine Janae, no space. Also Instagram, I am _Jasmine Janae, as well as TikTok, same thing. I am _ Jasmine Janae, and that's pretty much me. I'm like an open book, just a little bit,
A halfway open book. That's cool. We can deal with that. Hey, before we get started, I know everybody see me going to cuts, but I almost died on the live yesterday, choking on a drink. So now I got to make sure I got water, and my wife is on standby just in case I start choking. She can rush in here and give me the Heimlich maneuver because I almost died yesterday. Don't go back and watch that video, sis, because you're gonna be like, what the heck? I was in here choking, eyes was watery. It was pretty terrible. So let's start with the finance standpoint of it. Okay, we'll start there because I definitely got to touch the fluid out topic. Before we even dive in, I will tell you, you answered a question for me, and I want you to just give this answer here because I had a question that was just perplexing me. And I'm one of those people like curiosity killed the cat. I'm one of those people like I would be like the typical white guy who died early in the movie. If I hear noise, I'm like, what is that? Let me go inspect it. That's just kind of how I am. So I couldn't find an answer. I was like, what the hell happened to Lil Wayne dreads? So I saw you had this whole lock journey going on. So I was like, I'm going to ask her because I know she can explain it to me. And so when I saw that image right there, I said, you know what? Maybe she can explain to me how did this hair go from being these luscious locks that we're known for seeing them with to this image that we got here. So explain to me again and in general what the hell happened. Is it because I thought it was just maybe the brothers going bald type of thing. That's kind of what I thought it was. So is that it, or is this strategically done?
Well, let me first start by saying, even though I have locks, I'm not like a lock expert or anything, but from what I do know about locks and looking at, his journey over the last few years, it seems like he just, I guess started to freeform, which is where people, they don't really maintain their locks. They just let them do what they do. And if like a couple years ago, I don't know if he still have them blonde, but he had like dyed them blonde or bleached them blonde or whatever.
Right.
That's not really that great for our hair. Even
Okay.
though I have experienced that. You don't take care of them, they're gonna start breaking off. Locks, people like to think with locks, you don't have to care for it like loose hair.
Right.
Because if you don't, it'll start breaking off. It start
Right.
thinning, and next thing you know, it's popping off. He had a few to pop off, and he just didn't care. And I'm like, all that money you got, I guess that's why he don't care, because he's like, hey, I can look like this. I'm still rich.
And I tell you, I know. I don't know a lot about locks, but I know a little bit. You may not know this, but your boy hair used to come down to the shoulders back in the day. Back in the day, I used to get my braids and take them out, and everybody said I looked like a broke Maxwell because I had the glasses and the hair was crinkly. So I know a little bit of something. I know a little something about it, but that was just a question that always pondered me. So let's go ahead and dive in to the finance side first. We're going to talk about the finance side first. Now, I started looking at your channel because you was going through a finance journey. So tell me a little bit about just your background in finances, because, we all come from different backgrounds. Some people come from backgrounds where it was discussed. Then you got some people, which is honestly what I normally see, people who like stocks. What is a stock? We don't, so what is kind of your background, the environment you was brought up in related to finances in the first place? And what made you start saying, you know what? I think I'm going to go on this journey to pay off my debt and change my mind about how I'm doing my finances.
Whew, okay, let's see here. First, let's start with very beginning. Growing up, my family, unfortunately, we did not talk about finances that much. My mom and my dad, they handled the bills, we didn't worry about money, or at least I didn't see that aspect of it, but we didn't speak of it either.
Right.
Thought like, okay, this is how you should do this or that or whatever. I never learned growing up. When I started to see things was kind of going left is when I turned 18. It was time to go to college, and my parents, both of them had an attitude. My mom was just like, do whatever, go wherever. I don't want to give any input because I don't want you to end up regretting it and then being mad at me. My stepdad was like, okay, go wherever. I just don't want you to go to HBCU, which I regret because I really wanted to go to one. But
she said she don't want you to go to the
my stepdad didn't, because he felt like I would have fell into the whole partying, which I wasn't even like that in high school. I didn't party in high school, so why would I want to do it in college? I don't know.
That's weird. I honestly, that's funny you say that, because I honestly, I went to HBCU for undergrad and law school, and in hindsight, I was like, man, I should have went to University of Maryland College Park, because I wanted to go to keggers and rave parties. So it's funny, we got the entire opposite view.
Yeah, so I ended up choosing a school that was crazy expensive because it was a private university. I didn't know any better. Right. Unfortunately, they didn't know any better either, because I was the first one in my family to go to college. That's first and foremost. So I realized after graduating college, oh my, I got a shitload of debt. This student loans, man, I'm not even gonna tell you how much student loans I owe. But my early 20s, I started to realize, okay, working these pretty much minimum wage jobs or whatever, and I started making a little bit more than minimum wage. But I was just I don't like the way I'm living. You know what I'm saying? As I got older, my mid 20s, I knew I wanted to purchase a house by 30 and stuff. And so it wasn't until 25 I was like, I want to purchase a house before 30. That's my goal, and I'm gonna make it happen. I'll be the first one in my family to do that. Also, I was dead set on that. So with that being said, I was determined to break cycles within my family, generational curses, as people like to call it, or whatever. Right. So I was just like, okay, in order to do this, I have to really get into my finances and see what am I doing wrong, what I need to change. And that's what started my whole mindset of like, okay, I have to look at things differently. I have to make sure I don't have debt. So I actually went through, pulled my credit report, see
Right.
what I was
Right.
there. I paid everything. I got everything cleared off and everything like that. And I wasn't one of the ones, no, nothing to get people who do this. I wasn't the one that went to someone to get it cleared off. I literally, people might be saying, why would you do that? I actually contacted everybody if I owed anyone anything that was behind. And I kind of like made arrangements myself and did stuff
Right.
that way. So worked on my credit, and once I start to see, wow, my credit improved, and the things you can do with good credit, more. And then I did purchase a house. I closed on my house like I was 29, so right before 30,
Nice.
I was 28 or 29, one of them. So when I started to see myself do this, I was just like, I like the feeling. And then it wasn't until, how old am I? 34. It wasn't until like 32 I embarked on like Dave Ramsey. I don't follow him completely. I'm like, Dave Ramsey.
Right. That's the best way to be.
And I was like, yo, I don't want to work, until I'm 67 years old. Like, I want to live like, I want to be free, financially.
Right.
In order to do that, girl, you can't be out here owing people money,
Hey.
So that's what I was like, okay, I need to be debt free. And once I got that mindset and I realized like, okay, I'm gonna have to make some changes here and to get focused, go in on it. I ended up with a job that I'm not my dream job, not something I'm happy with, but I make a decent wage.
Right.
So it allowed me the opportunity to be able to pay down my debt and stuff. So, and also while living a lifestyle I want to live at the same time.
Right.
So pretty much to sum it all up, it was just really to looking at family and friends and the people around me.
Right.
I seen what that looked like. I was like, I don't want that. I want this. And that's what kind of pretty much pushed me. And that's what's still pushing me to this day. Because I be struggling sometimes. And because I like to shop and stuff. But
Right.
I'm getting better. So that's pretty much what kind of started it.
It's a process. I think one thing, you taking care of your own credit situation was just genius. I actually maybe said that in the video I did. I had a homegirl who actually I went to like high school with, and she reached out to me on social and was like, she was like, oh, I'm gonna pay this guy. Do you think I should do it? And I was like, well, it depends. I think you can always do. I did all that shit on my own, part of my language, but I'm just like, and I was like, well, it depends how much they charging you. She told me something crazy like that. Low key, I should start a business. I'll do credit repair. It was $1,400.
Really?
She said they charge $1,400 to do everything, and I was like, damn, because all it is making some calls, talking to a few people, maybe sending a letter. The question is, do you got the time to do it? So I think that was definitely smart taking care of it. And also, hey, props to you for hitting that goal of buying your first house. You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of people, I always tell people, the two most important factors for most people who are everyday millionaires are contributing to your 401k regularly and home ownership. If you do those two things, chances are by the time I ain't gonna say by the time I'm decrepit, because but hey, women, y'all on a different age scale. But by the time I'm decrepit, at least I know that, hey, I invested in these two things and they are definitely going to go up in value. So I think that's smart. Let me ask, and I think this is an interesting question. Like a lot of people say, like, man, I want to be free. I want to have financial freedom. What is because that definition is different for everybody. Because for me, like I tell people all the time, I'm not a fire guy. Like I'm not a fire guy where I'm like, oh man, I want to not be able to work and never do something ever again. Shit. No, I'm not doing that. Like I tell you, most people I know who retire and don't do nothing. I had a homeboy. I told this story before. He retired at, I think he was like 39 or 42, but it was young as hell. And one of the big things that people burn from retiring so early is one, most people in their careers, they make the most money between the ages of 42 and like 55. So those are the prime years for you to make the most money you ever gonna make in your career. But the other thing was my man retired and he didn't have nothing to do because my black ass was at work. I was like, why you calling me? I gotta go to work. I'm normal people, okay? So after about 3 years, he ended up like, this ain't what it is, going back into the workforce. And because he took 3 years off, he couldn't even earn as much as he had when he left because he lost some experience. So for me, I tell you, financial freedom, they say fire, move it, financial independence, retire early. My acronym is FIFU, FIFU. Financial independence, fuck you. That's what I want to be able to say to my employer. Now that don't mean I'm gonna quit my job, right?
Right.
The FU don't mean I'm gonna quit my job, but what it means is I got enough stashed away to where if you get on my goddamn nerves enough, I'll walk the fuck away and I'll be good for 6 months, 8 months till I find something. For me, that's it, because I don't ever not want to do nothing. So what's your definition of financial freedom for you? You want the freedom. What is the freedom for you?
See, and I'm kind of about to piggyback off what you just said, because that's where I'm at too. Because I don't see myself. I'm not one of the ones. You know, I watch people on YouTube who are like that. I'm not the one who just want to like, oh my gosh, I want to retire and not work at all. I don't want to do anything, because even though I am a homebody and stuff, that would be pretty boring after a while, you know? So that's not what it means for me. Financial freedom for me is kind of like what you said, or whatever, what it is, what you said with the whole, if I'm doing something and I get to a point where I'm like, I don't like this anymore and I want to stop,
Right.
Because it's not like, oh my gosh, I got these bills. I mean, of course, there's certain bills you're gonna always have, but you know, I don't have debt or anything. I don't have any worries. I want the freedom of being able to say, I'm working these 40 plus hours a week, and each month I have a few thousand left over after my bills are paid.
Right.
I'm debt free. I would be able to say that, you know?
Right.
Still making the same income, of course.
Right.
But also, I really take interest in traveling. I haven't been as many places as I wanted to go. My first trip out of the country was for my 30th birthday. I went to Cancun.
Did you get flew out? Did you get flew out?
Well, he got some flowers, but he didn't. But that's so funny. But it was amazing and opened my eyes to be like, this world is so much to see. I want to be able to, honestly, you want to say what my real goal is? I want to be able to travel, take a trip at least once a month. Yes, once a month. And I'm not talking about the let's go to Miami type trip. I want to take big trips once a month sometimes little small trips, but I want to be able to say like, hey, I want to take a week off of work and go to Thailand. You know what I'm saying? Right. That. So when I say financial freedom, it's the freedom to do whatever I want to do without any worries of anything going lag or I'm falling behind or anything. It's like, no, boo-boo, I still got all this money in the bank. I still got my savings, I got my 401k looking good. You know, I still got this income coming in, but I can do whatever I want to do. And I'm going to be here one day. Just wait.
Okay. I mean, and you're going to get there. I think that's the thing. I think all women just love to travel. I mean, like, I know one of the first things when I met my wife when we was dating, I was like, damn, she easy. If we can travel pretty decently and she can eat out at nice restaurants, I'll be okay. If we can occasionally do those two things. And so I think that's dope, because you got to have an understanding of what retirement is. Like, I know I actually had a conversation with my wife when we was talking about money early on years ago. And I was like, how do you envision your retirement? Because if you don't tell me what your expectation is, I won't know. My expectation could be just having a place, no debt, and being able to do what I want. Of course, when I talked to her, her shit was way more. She was like, I think I want a place overseas. I was like, God damn it. Like,
yes.
Yeah, you're right. That's how my wife is. She like the finer things in life. So yeah, I don't think she's probably the spender, but I had to understand what her expectation was so I could at least make a plan around that expectation. You know what I mean? And so, and plus that's dope too. I'm gonna be honest. I want to place overseas because when I get old, I'm telling you right now, my left knee be bothering me. So when it get cold, I gotta go somewhere warm so my left knee not acting up. You know what I mean? So that's definitely a thing. Now, let me talk also about, because like you said on your channel, you go and talk about a lot of stuff. You do a little bit of finance, a little bit of just your lock journey, a little bit just your daily routine. That's what kind of got me caught up in it. So let's talk about your fitness journey now, right? Let's take a quick pivot, okay? Because it's very few things that are more important than your financial fitness and your personal health, your mental health, your spiritual health, and your relationship with your families are probably the three things that are more important with money. Because for me, the whole point of what's the point of having financial fitness? And I can't remember what NBA player it was, but he was telling a story about how he signed his second contract and it was multi-million dollars. This dude ended up giving away like 50% of his money. Wow. And he realized he had all this money, but his wife was sick. And he was like, man, all the money I had, we couldn't do anything to help her. You know what I mean? So I was like, what's the point of having all this money? So he ended up donating like half of his earned salary to like a place in Africa to help the youth. But, when he told that story, it resonated with me because we want the financial freedom because we want our time back.
Right.
And what's the point of having time to do what you want if you're not healthy, if your mental not in the right place? So tell us a little bit about the fitness side of it, how you went to that side. And hey, we just looking from the camera, the torso look okay. So so I know y'all women are y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, every woman who out there who watching this video, if you haven't watched this video, if you're gonna watch this video, y'all are your own biggest critics. Y'all see shit that we don't see. I don't understand it. I'd be like, oh man, I don't like the way this look. And in my head, I'd be like, she tripping. What is she talking about? I know y'all are hard on yourselves for no damn reason. I don't know why. But tell us a little bit about the fitness aspect and the fitness journey.
Okay, so I'm trying to make it short. Starting out, like I've always been more of a slim fit or whatever. I've always been kind of small. This actually is the heaviest I've been in my whole entire life. I don't know if you noticed this by watching my channel, but I did have a daughter. She did pass away, unfortunately. But when I was pregnant with her, I only got up to 170. I'm 198 right now.
Right.
That's how I've been. And I know a lot of people look at me and they're like, but you look fine.
Right.
Ain't wrong. But of course, when we look at ourselves, we feel different. Being 190 compared to how I felt when I was 170, 160. I don't want to get back to 160 though. Probably 175 or so. It feels different. It feels different on my knees.
Right.
And as you get older, it's just like you said, with mental, I have anxiety disorder. So mentally, I realized that, if I feel better, if I look and just different things, it also helps me mentally as well.
Right.
So I've been wanting to get into the gym and be more active for probably about 7 years now. I got 7 years and I've struggled so hard. Like it was times I joined the gym and be like, I ain't doing this. I was pretty much lazy. I'm not gonna tell no lie. I was just lazy. And I was just like, as I got older and I was like, I don't have any like serious health concerns or whatever, but I didn't want to be one of the ones who develop health issues.
Right.
Suffers from like diabetes, high blood pressure, and a trainer said to me one time she said, people like to say things run in the family. It's like, no one runs in the family. That's the issue. And I was like, that was clever because look at your family history and it's just like they may have these health problems, but look at the way they eat. Look at they're active. Look at their lifestyle. And I was like I'm the smallest one in my family, like literally out of everybody, the smallest one, except for the kids. So it was just like I don't want to get older and I find out I have diabetes, I have high blood pressure, I have all these issues. I don't want that to happen. So what do? I take control of it now. And
Right.
I did it for 7 years because, like I said, girl, I struggled up until 2 weeks ago when my niece finally joined the gym with me. Because before I made excuses, I was like, oh, I have like this social anxiety. Like I don't like to be around people. I just feel like, oh my gosh, I feel weird if I go somewhere by myself and like, yeah. So with her joining the gym, going with me, she like helps motivate me. Like, hey, we're going today, right? So having somebody to go with, for the last 2 weeks, I can say I finally have been consistent. I've been finally going 2 to 3 times, sometimes 4 times. I actually went 4 times this week. Oh, that is a accomplishment. Let me tell you. So, and honestly, even though girl tired, girl be sore, it really does make a difference in how you feel mentally and physically. So that's pretty much the biggest thing. Yes, I want to be snatched because I know people look at me and be like, but there's nothing wrong with you now. I want smaller ways.
Right.
Stuff, but I want to lower my body fat, tone up, build muscle and stuff like that. So I want to look like, oh shoot, she go hard in the gym. I want that look, and I just want that lifestyle to be able to say, okay, this is part of my routine. Like I actually care about how look, how I feel, and all this stuff like that. Because I may look like this now, but as I get older, stuff.
Right.
So take control of it now. Why can't?
It's funny because I just generally envision. If I were a woman, I would probably have anxiety going to the gym too, because I think the gym is a fucking creepy ass place. I think guys are creeps in general. And so in my head, I actually told her, I saw one of my homegirls in the gym one day, and I was like, I don't know, maybe this is just me, maybe I'm goofy, but I think the goofiest thing you can do is approach somebody while they're working out. If you catch them in the lobby, but I've seen women working out and guys go over there while they're on the treadmill or lifting the weight, and I was like, man, guys is just creepy as fuck. I can see why a lot of women aren't like in the gym. They go at crazy ass hours because man, there's some people in the gym who make you feel uncomfortable as hell.
That's very true.
It's funny though because it's funny. I was actually looking at some statistics on gym. I just be looking at the most random shit. You'll learn that about me. I be looking at the most random shit. And I was like, man, how the fuck does Planet Fitness stay open if they only charge a couple dollars a month? But I looked at the statistics, and 70% of the people with a gym membership don't show up. So 70% of the people with a membership don't show up. The average gym has 6,500 memberships.
Wow.
Because Planet Fitness can only hold 300 people, but nobody's showing the fuck up. So I was like, that's how they making that bread. I did the math. It was something crazy like $130,000 a month.
Wow.
At a $20 a month clip for those people. So, but the other interesting thing was, there's a statistic out there that show if you work out like in your late 30s and going into your 40s, it's like a 90% chance that you'll work out your entire life. Like if you don't work out and you start working out in your 40s, it drops dramatically, like the percentage that you'll consistently work out. So I think that's definitely dope to focus on that fitness and be able to do it in spite of all the creeps. And I figured your gym partner was related to you because I was like, they look alike.
We get that all the time. People be thinking that's my daughter. I'm like,
yeah, I saw that video. I was like, damn, they look just alike. I said, yeah, they related. That's why I go to a woman-only gym. They have one
in a comment. And we have one gym, but I didn't realize it until after the fact of me signing a contract with the other gym, that we have a gym where they have a women's only section. And I was like, I think I would like that. This girl I work with, she does that. She's like, she actually don't like it because she feel like women are more, I don't, how did she word it? I forgot. I don't know if she was like competitive or they just more.
Right.
She didn't like the energy of it or whatever. But I was like, I think I would like to work around just women because so far I haven't had any issues going to the gym with men. Except for yesterday, this guy, every time I looked over, he was looking at me. I was like, well, maybe he's not looking at me.
Man.
Maybe he's not looking at me. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think that guys is creepy, especially, you know, like, I don't know, man. Like, okay, here's a gym story. I'm gonna tell you a gym story. And well, I got a couple gym stories. Once I went to go work out with my wife, and this lady came over there and asked me how to do the exercise. My wife was on the treadmill way the fuck over there. And I'm over here. As soon as that lady came to me and said something, my phone was like, I was like,
Your
God damn.
wife.
I was like,
Yes.
but my phone went off. She texted me, but when I looked back over, she was still on the treadmill. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, yo, how did she do that? It was wild. But it's interesting because I'm in the gym one day, and there's one machine that I don't know what it is. I don't know what it does. I guess it strengthens your thigh muscles. You know that machine y'all ladies use? Y'all doing all this. So me and my homeboy, we over there and we kind of, you know how they got the isolated section where you can do your push-ups and stuff?
Right.
We over there doing the push-ups and everything, doing that, getting that little workout on. Now this butt cheek strengthening machine is right there by the push-ups. I'm literally on the ground going like this, going up and down. And this lady come right over and get on the coochie strengthening machine. And I'm like, as I'm going up and down, I'm like, it's like right there. And I'm like, oh my God. So now I'm feeling awful. I didn't even do nothing. I was just doing push-ups. My boy was like, she just gonna use that machine right in front of you. I was like, she could have waited till I finished my set. That made me feel awkward. So I know it could be an awkward situation because, like I said, guys are creeps. But that's is interesting. And you know, Aaron made a comment, you know, earlier that one thing we can't get back is time. You know what I mean? Time is the most important thing. We can't get back time. So it's definitely important to take care of your mental health and your physical health. And like, I agree. Like, I honestly feel better if I take like, if I get injured or something happened and I can't work out for a week, I actually feel worse. I don't feel as good as I do when I can get to the gym 3 or 4 times a week. So I think there is some truth in, you know, that your physical fitness does impact your mental health as well.
Definitely think so.
Now here's other topic. Okay, I wanted to kind of talk about this topic because, you know, it is finance related, and I saw an interesting video. And when I initially, you know how you see a video, and when you initially see a video, you feel one way, then you watch it again, and you like, you start to see the other point of view. So I want to make sure I couch this correctly because one, there's a lot of women in here, and I don't want y'all fucking me up. so that's what I think. There's a lot of women in here, and I don't want nobody whipping my ass. And so I'm gonna play this video so we can get a look at it. And I thought this was a good topic for you because I told you this in the pregame before we got on. Like, is certain women that a guy will see, and women, y'all know, I'm sure it's probably certain guys out here that you see and you like, okay, yeah, that guy is generally a handsome guy. Like, I'm comfortable enough to like, okay, yeah, that guy is cool. That's how brothers compliment men. We won't say, we be like, oh, he cool. So I'm comfortable enough to be like, oh, that guy's cool. And so I said, this will be interesting because I heard you once in a video you were talking about, you know, just kind of finances and the dating aspect, and you know what I mean, like how it can, you know, how it can be strange where you're doing one thing, someone else may be doing something, and it may not mesh well. And then the other part of it, like I told you earlier, just looking at your picture, I was like, yeah, she flew outable. I think you are a flew outable person. Like when I look at you, I'm like, yeah, she's flew outable. Somebody somewhere will offer to fly you out. Now, you don't have to answer this question, but I guarantee you the answer is yes. You've been offered to be flued out before, correct?
I've had a situation.
See?
I got a story.
Go in with your story first. Since we on the subject, I'll let you deal with the story time. But we after your story, we're gonna dive into flued out. What are the rules and requirements? The obligations, if any, because hey, women, your body is your body. Don't fuck me up, okay? But after your story, we're gonna dive into this flued out thing because it's a weird thing. This younger generation is a little bit wild, so we got to talk about it.
Right. So my story is a little different than I guess maybe some of these other stories because it seems that people don't really be knowing these people. Well, this particular gentleman, I don't really. It's weird to say that I don't really know him. Like I met him one time in like person or whatever, but we just kind of like met through a mutual friend. And been like cool on social media for years or whatever. And of course, he liked me or whatever. And the type of job he does, he travels a lot.
Okay.
I say travel, I mean like out the country type travel and everything.
Right.
So he was like, I will take you on a trip or whatever, but do know if you go. I'm just like, no. And that was pretty much the end of that because it was just like, but we had a conversation before, so I knew what he wanted.
Right.
No.
I'll tell you, I think that's the biggest thing with me. Like, how the hell do you? I can't fathom my mind around getting to a point where you're actually on the plane coming to see me, and we didn't talk about what the expectations were.
That's why I'm like, I'm side-eyed in some of these stories because I'm just like, y'all, you telling me y'all never discussed that? That's weird.
I'm telling you right now. And I said this before. I'm a little bit jealous because I want to get flued out. I feel like I'm flued out material. I want my wife to go somewhere and miss me and be like, damn, boo, I miss you. Come on out here because I miss you. And I'm gonna be like, oh shit, I'm a bad bitch. That's how I'm gonna feel. I'm gonna be like, when women say they're a bad bitch, I'm gonna be like, oh, I know what they mean. I'm getting flued out. So I low-key want to get flued out. But the thing with it is, I just don't understand. You have to have a conversation beforehand. Now we talk about stories of flued out. I got a story I'm gonna tell. Is a story with my brother. He got flued out and put out, and this was a crazy ass story, right? So hey, rest in peace. This was a crazy ass story, and it's funny because me and him talked about it after it happened. He met this chick who stayed like in Houston or somewhere. It was somewhere down south. So I'm like, it was somewhere down south, and so I was like, okay, that's dope. I was like, bad bitch. Yeah, hey, I could call myself a bad bitch. All right, look. So he meet this girl. She's like from Houston at some point. And credit to her, at some point, she did come up here and visit him, right? Because she actually met my mom. So my mother was like, my mother don't like anybody. My mother was like, oh, I met her. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I got it, minister. So my brother was like, oh man, I'm going out to Houston. And like, I would always tell you, like, my brother is a guy who, like, it's not uncommon. He always has a girlfriend and he's always in some type of relationship. He'll be in a relationship and then to the next one. So he was like, oh, I'm going to see this girl in Houston and the places down there so cheap. So I'm thinking like, oh man, he actually may be thinking about like a move to the Houston area. So when he was telling me, the first thing I said, I was like, oh man, that's cool. But when you go down there, whatever you do, don't go down there and get stuck. Make sure you got enough bread to get back. So he was like, man, his exact words to me were, what do you think? I'm stupid, man. I got this. And I was like, okay. So he goes down there and I don't know what happens. But at some point, not only does he loses his wallet, so he loses his wallet with no driver's license, no bank card, no money, no nothing. Everything between him and this girl kind of goes south. So she like, nah, you got to go. And I'm like, nah. And so she flew him out there, but then she pulled the card like, nah, I flew you out. Like me, I'm telling y'all right now, if I was single and a woman was like, hey, I could fly you out here, during the daytime when we eating and gallivanting around, in the back of my mind, I'm going to be like, all right, I got to be ready to perform tonight. Because I already know what the expectation is. Like, I'm like, all right, let me go get a shot of Hennessy. All right, I don't want to drink too much. Let me get a swig of Hennessy. So I'm a realist. I'm just going to be a realist about it. So it does happen, and it's crazy as uncommon. So let's go take a look at this video. We're going to take a look at this video, and then we're going to come back and dissect this a little bit, all right?
All right.
Let me get this video up here.
Nigga, you lame as fuck. No, you lame as fuck. I'll fly her out, pay for her food. shower, walk around in my room, with a towel on. I can't get the cheeks though. I can't get the cheeks though.
You thirsty nigga. You a thirsty nigga.
Oh,
right here. Spare your hairline.
Get me the fuck out of here.
Spare your hairline.
What you mean? What you mean pay for my little ticket at?
I paid for your ticket to get here. What type of ticket? I paid for it.
all right, I'm gonna have to pause it right there, right? Because one, like, and I don't know the validity or the authenticity of this, but there's a couple things with this video that made me know that this guy's a goofy. Okay, well, one thing in particular, the fact that he actually got his phone out and recording this.
Yes.
I was like, one, this dude is a buster. First of all, that's point number one for like you ready. I can see a bunch of people I know actually doing that. Unfortunately, I don't know the most. I know some wild brothers, so I can see this actually happening. But recording it is kind of goofy. But I feel like at this point in the video, when he talked about the ticket, was where she kind of got that look of, wait a minute. What do you mean about the ticket and trying to find out? So let's go it through. I'm going to play it all the way through. Then we're going to come back and dissect it. All right, sis?
Just get me out this fucking car. Because you're lame as fuck. You fucking crash and burn us. Get the fuck out of here. Lame ass nigga.
Get out. Get out my car.
Whatever.
Get out my car.
Just make sure you give me my fucking confirmation number.
What? Ain't no confirmation number.
What you mean?
Ain't no confirmation number. I kiss you a fight. I kiss you a fight. Why y'all don't see people? Wish I saw some cheeks. No. It's your bag. I ain't need your bag. Here, your bag right here.
Nothing.
Go. I'm dead serious. You want to give me no cheeks? You gotta do it.
Nigga, you're lame as fuck. Because you can't get no
I'm saying you gotta go. You gotta go. I'm not paying for your ticket.
All right. So I think we got the overall scope. I think we got the overall scope of the video. It was funny because the video was about 5 minutes. And in the beginning, she was like, I could buy my own ticket. I got this money. And then I found it kind of funny on both parts of them. I think both of them are stupid, honestly. But I think both of them are stupid, honestly. But amazingly, when I looked at this video, it was a common occurrence where people are recording these type of interactions where like, oh, you're not giving me none, you're getting put out, which don't even make any sense. Because I tell you, in my younger days, in my 20s, I was kind of an asshole. You know what I mean? And I said, man, this guy's really nice. Because if this was young debt-free dad, I was like, I said, damn, he real nice. He actually gave her a ride to the airport.
He gave her a ride. Oh my God.
I said, young debt-free dad. Okay, we all mature. We all mature. We all grow up. Hey, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. We all mature. But I definitely do think this dude is a goofy. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, one, you're recording this, but two, y'all clearly grown-ass adults and y'all didn't have a conversation about it on the back end. So tell me, what are your thoughts just watching that clip?
Okay, so for starters, I just really want to believe that these are skits. And this is not real. First off, let's just throw that out there.
Because I'll co-sign that, because I'll tell you, when I see stuff like this, sometimes I get situations where I'd be like, damn, like it's very few things that make me ashamed to be black, and seeing this video was one of them.
But you making a, you know what, out of yourself. But like you said, I feel like before anybody get on any flights, a conversation should have been had. So the fact that that didn't happen, and then for her to get in the car for him to take her to the airport, I wouldn't even want to ride with you, because I don't think, if your mentality is you want me to go home because I'm not giving it up to you, I don't want to ride in the car with you. Now I don't know what you would do. And I don't know. So maybe call me an Uber. I'm not riding with you.
That type of language and conduct is it's extreme creep on the side of, if I'm talking to a woman, excuse me, if a guy talking like that, don't get in the car, because you don't know this this dude, like, damn, dude, you ain't never had no cheeks before. Honestly, let's just keep it real. Like, I tell, as guys get older, we realize that, you know, just like women, y'all been telling guys no since y'all was probably 11 to 12 years old. Let's be honest. So y'all are used to telling guys no. As guys, as we get older, we realize, like, man, we don't have to chase and be overly aggressive. It's more women than men. It's like you can go outside the same way you can breathe air. That's how it is with women. Let's just be honest. It is what it is. But I don't think anybody who displays that behavior definitely is over aggressive, definitely have some tendencies that would probably throw up a red flag, and you need to get the fuck away from somebody like that.
But next, I wouldn't, like, for me, if I decided to go ahead and go through with it, even if we didn't have a conversation, I'm always going to make sure I have my money. But before having my money, you're not going to buy my ticket, honey. You're going to send me your money and let me buy my own ticket. It's going to be round trip. Like, we're not doing no one way.
Right.
I don't need the confirmation because, baby, I'm gonna have the confirmation. You sending me the money. You're not doing a ticket for me. I'm doing that. And if you can't, baby, no. So that's why I'm just like, come on now.
Yeah, you know, the saying I always say is, when you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Yes.
And I felt like I think both of them was playing stupid games. Both of them was playing stupid prizes. You know, like, hey, never go anywhere where you don't got the money to do what you need to do on your own.
Exactly.
Bottom line. And that's some free game. I'm honest, I didn't even really think about that. Now, don't fly me out. Send me the money. I get my own ticket.
Oh, yeah, I would never. Like, seriously, I would never. Like, you have to send me the money. I'm not going to allow you to do it. Nah, I don't. I got trust issues. I'm being honest. So I don't trust
right.
So I'm not doing that. Second of all, like, to go into the whole overall, my thoughts on this. And it's so crazy because before this started to go viral, I seen another YouTuber speaking on it. Someone asked her the question, does she feel like, you know, if a guy takes you on a trip and he pays for everything, you should give it up? And she was like, she pretty much felt like, yes, like, I feel like I should. Like, we grown, blah, blah, blah. I'm opposite. I'm just like, I feel like just because you pay for a trip doesn't mean I have to give it up. Like, I
agree.
What was it? 2 months ago, I went on a trip. I didn't get flued out or anything. It's only 2 hours away. So
right.
But the person covered the entire trip. I didn't have to pay for anything besides gas to get there or whatever.
Right.
Hotel, food, everything was paid for.
Right.
I didn't do anything with this guy. I didn't give up anything. And then when I tell people that, they just like, so you didn't give any, like, how? Like, he's stupid, he's this. I'm just like, no, because first of all guys are not really like that. All guys don't feel like, I just spent this money on you.
Yeah. I agree.
That's corny to me. Like, to just assume I should give it up to you because you spent some money on me. Like, if you spending, you know, you taking me like.
Yo, real talk. The other part, I'm just like, the other part is like, dog. You what? You got me a flight on Spirit? That's not indicative of getting any tea. Like, nah, like if you flew me out first class, you know, all the way to the West Coast or to Hawaii or something, hey, I'm gonna be like, damn, this sister flew me out. I'm gonna be doing push-ups before because I know what
I'm gonna have to do a little something.
Yeah, me on the Spirit, you might as well got me a megabus ticket.
Exactly, because that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah,
you lie. If a guy, I ain't gonna lie. I'm just being completely honest. Now, if a guy really, you know, spending some money or whatever, first and foremost, I know a guy's not gonna really drop a lot of money on you unless he really into you. Well, not
right.
If guys like that, he don't care about the money because there's nothing for him. But most guys, you know, if a guy's spending some thousands, when I say thousands, I'm talking about more than $5,000 on the trip. I might have to, you know, back that thing up a little bit.
But that's the other thing, though. Like, people make it like guys don't have self-control. Me and my wife was just talking about this story. Me and my wife were actually dating at the time, but we were like, she stayed somewhere, I stayed states away, so it was fun. I had a homegirl who was cool. We and her good friends. And I said, like, guys, like, I don't know, I think that's just a thirsty ass person. But I said, I remember we went to like drop her brother off at boarding school. And when we got back, it was mad late. I was like, you could stay at the crib. I was like, this is my house. You a good friend, but this is my house. I'm not sleeping on my couch. So you can either sleep on the couch or there's a bed back here. And so it's funny. We go back, we sleeping on the bed. I'm not thinking about anything. And while we sleeping on the bed, I laughed. I even joked to this day because she was like, all right, you stay over there. And I was like, I just looked at her. I was like, and then she took the pillows and put the pillows in between us like a barrier. And so the first thing I said, look, first of all, you like the homie. You know what I mean? And second of all, if I wanted some cheeks, and you act like I was gonna be like, oh, blast it. She put this barrier of pillows here. Now, dang it, my plans are foiled. I was like, but most guys have self-control. Most guys aren't thirsty. I think it's just my view on it is you got to talk about it beforehand. It should be some understanding. Yes. And if you don't talk about it beforehand, as a guy, I already know. Like if I flew a girl out and I flew her out on Spirit, I need to shut the fuck up and be happy she showed up. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm not getting on the Spirit plane. If I did I want to get flued out, but if I did get flued out and it was on Spirit, I don't count that as flued out. That doesn't count. That's just kind of my view. But yeah, it's crazy, and you know, it's funny that we're on this point because, you know, I always tell people, and I was actually just at a live over on another channel. I think it was Mommy Traders Live, and you know, she made a comment about when she met her husband. The first thing she asked him was like, "What do you do? What do you do for a living? You know, do you have these kids?" She asked these questions, and in some of the comments, people were like, and it made sense. It was like, you know, women like what they hear initially, and guys like what they see. Mm-hmm. And I think there's some truth to that. I mean, a guy can't be just crazy, but you know, if a guy's, you know, a guy could be a 6, but based on his conversation with a woman, yes, how he treats her, I think the real end, hey, brothers, if y'all watching this video, if you can make a woman laugh, woo!
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna give y'all some free game. If you can make a woman laugh, now I will tell you, once you marry them, they find your jokes less funny. But you know, it was funny because she had those conversations on the front end, and I can only speak for me. You know, like me and my wife when we were just dating. I mean, I wouldn't advise nobody to do it how we do it. We just kind of got lucky, real talk. But yo, JT, what's good, bro? Hey, I appreciate it, fam. And so, but you know, real talk. I think the thing is, we didn't have those conversations, so I would never advise somebody to enter into anything without having those money conversations, especially when shit start getting serious. But I just happen to get lucky that she's level-headed. We kind of think the same. So even though we didn't have those conversations on the front end, we were able to come to a consensus later on. So let me ask, like, how is that done? Because hey, you're a single sister, you working on getting extra snatched. So like, I'm like, you working on getting extra snatched. So you're out here in that dating space, and finances is a topic. It is something that has to come up. How is that introduced? And before I pass it to you to kind of talk about, you know, what you've seen and what it is, because I can't really speak, you know, I look at you as the younger generation, sis, because I'm an old guy, you know what I mean? But I got a homeboy, graduated law school with me, got a job at a law firm. And at these law firms, right, you get a job coming out of law school, 24, 25 years old, starting salary, $180,000. And if a woman, I can Google that firm and see what their compensation package is and your pictures on the website. So if you meet a woman, and so he was stuck in this position, he would always tell me like, man, you should be so happy you married. And I was like, why is that? He was like, because like, I'm grateful I met my wife when we both was broke as fuck. Because he was like, now if I go on a date, he was like, women of Google, because y'all do y'all research. And I would advise women to do their research. If you Google him, you know what's going to pop up. When you Google him, his picture at the law firm, that comment is, you click here and it shows what the firm's starting salary is. So he was like, it's hard for him to actually find a woman who genuinely wants him for him, because I mean the starting salary is 180 and the brother been there for 7 years. So we already know hey, I've been to his house. Like his shit is like, his shit is like 2 of the debt free. His shit like 3.5 of the debt free dad house. So how do you navigate that, like that point where finances come up? Are people talking about that openly, or are people just kind of shying away from it, or what?
Well, I'm 34. I got most of my life, like since like 17, I've been in relationships. This month actually makes 1 year of being completely single, meaning I ain't talking to anyone. I don't have the desire to. Because
hey, that's good. You learn what hey,
I really don't have the desire.
You, that's good.
So, but prior to that, I must say that I look back on my past relationships or whatever, that topic was something that most guys I was talking to would like to shy away from. They didn't really want to talk about it as much. I felt like for me, I don't know if it was the type of guys I was choosing. I don't know. But I was more so financially focused, and they was just more like going with the flow. It wasn't
right.
Make a decent living or anything like that. It was just like their mindset towards finances wasn't the same as mine, and I learned that later on in a relationship. And so my takeaway from that is never again would I do that. Like first date, we sitting at the table. Hey, so what's your relationship with money? Like what, how do you
right.
I need to know that like day one, like first date,
Right.
Because if we don't think the same when it comes down to that, I don't wanna let me just keep going and maybe he'll change. Nope.
Right.
On that level usually don't change. It's hard to change them on that level. So let me know if you feel like, no offense to anybody in the comments, whatever, let me know if your ideal is 50-50 and that's what you want to do, because I don't.
Right.
Let me know that you got a shitload of debt or whatever and you have no desire to pay it off. Let me know that up front. I mean it's hard because I don't want to talk about stuff like that, but I don't want to get into a relationship and then later find that stuff out, because that, if I, decide to marry you or whatever, that technically kind of falls on me too. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want nobody who got like a 500 credit score and you got crazy debt, but you out here living life as if you don't. I don't like that mindset. I don't want that for myself. So if I don't want it for myself, I don't want it for my spouse. So it's so important. Finances is so important to me. I'm sorry. One thing I learned from my stepdad is this right here. He said, him and my mom is separated now, but he said if he ever got married again, he would never marry just for love. And I took that away from him, and I was like, I was engaged for 2 years, no longer engaged, but whatever. I would never marry just for love alone. You know what I'm saying? I want to marry somebody who's financially stable. You know what I'm saying? Like they have to be pretty much on the same level mindset or whatever. We don't have to think totally the same, because everybody not gonna be like, I'm a frugal, I'm cheap as hell. I don't want you don't have to be like that per se, but you can't be out here, living above your means. Like I can't do that. So when I tell you that conversation is so important, and if the first sign that you say something I don't like, it's a deal breaker. It's definitely a deal breaker, not red flag. Bye. You want me to pay for the meal because this is the last date.
And it's funny.
I'll pay for the meal. That way you don't feel like you did something for me.
Right. And it's funny. I think this comment is true. Not being able to manage in finances is a deal breaker. And I'm completely cool with that, because statistically, the number one indicator of wealth in America is marriage, but the number one indicator of poverty is divorce. Think about it. So, and it was funny because yesterday we did a live and we were talking about the top hip hop entrepreneurs, right? And we had a Jay-Z at number 2. And I said, we gave Jay-Z credit because let's think about it. Jay-Z was strategic in the partner that he chose. Jay-Z could have been out here. You didn't see Jay-Z out here with a damn Instagram model who only thing she got is looks and the Instagram following that she can't even monetize. Hell no. Jay-Z was like, you know what? this marriage is going to be a marriage where, hey, we love each other, but it's the foundation of a relationship is based in business and then based in the finances. That's just kind of what it is. You know what I mean? People could say they can agree to disagree, but I think that's 100% right and 100% accurate. And it's funny because I know when I met my wife, we was just dating at the time. And fellas, this is when you know you probably gonna end up popping the question, or this is when you know that you really feeling a woman. Cause I was dating her and I went to a wedding with her. Who do that simp shit? I did two things. I did two things that I never thought I would do. And I was like, damn, I'm out here simping. The first thing was, I was like, oh, she wanted this car and she didn't have the money up front in cash. So I was like, oh man, we was dating for, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 months. And I was like, it's all good. I got you. I front it to you. You could just pay me back. So I gave her the money. Now I will tell you, I was like, I didn't trip because I was like, man, you stationed here for 3 years. What you gonna do? Steal my money? So but the other thing was I went with her to a wedding, and we would always talk about, like what our plans were, what we wanted to do. And at that time, when I was in the military, I only had 2 years of undergrad. I actually had to get out of the military, go back to undergrad, but I already knew once I was in Iraq shooting at people, I was like, I think I want to try law school. That's what changed my mind. So we would always have a conversation, and I would talk about like just kind of what my future plans was. And I think women are tuned in to what a guy says about his plans financially, career-wise, because they like that structure. Women love structure and things that's reliable and stable. And I remember the first time I went to the West Coast, went to LA with her. I go to a wedding with her. We just dating. I meet her family. This is real talk how she introduced me. When she introduced me like this, I looked at her and I was like, no, the fuck you didn't. This is how she introduced me. She was like, keep in mind, I only got 2 years of undergrad. I still got finished undergrad, get into a law school. She was like, hey, everybody, this is Marcus, who I was telling you about. He's going to be a lawyer. I was like, what? I was like, what? I was like, I'm a broke ass person in the army. What the hell? Don't introduce me by what I'm going to be. What kind of shit was that? But I say that to say that, stability. Every woman likes stability. I don't care if your daughter, your wife, your grandmother, they like stability. They like being able to be reliable. And that's a conversation you got to have. And a lot of people aren't willing to have that conversation. Because when my daughter gets of age, one thing that I'm going to tell her is have these conversations up front, because I think one thing is women, I don't know why, but y'all give yourselves time clock that society put on y'all, and y'all hold yourself to these standards. Do you think that's true? I don't know why, but y'all shouldn't. But a lot of women be like, oh, I'm this age or that age, and I haven't done this. Stop doing that shit.
Stop. I used to be that person. I definitely stopped that a few years ago.
Right. But it's you have to have those conversations. And I'm gonna tell my daughter, if a guy isn't willing to have a conversation with you, run for the fucking hills. I think it's a major red flag. Run for the hills. Don't get lucky like mom and dad, because mom and dad was lucky because we was both broke as hell and we just we got stars in our eyes. And then later on, I was like, you got student loan debt? We found that love in student loan debt. I was like, you got student loan debt? I was like, I got student loan debt too. Come on. But yeah, that's it. But yeah, I think the key takeaway is, you definitely got to take care of your mental. You know what I mean? Your mental health, your physical fitness, all of that stuff is more important than your finances. If you got $1 million, but you on my 600-pound life, you're not going to enjoy that goddamn $1 million. You know what I mean? So, is there anything you want to toss out before we get out of here?
I'm trying to see. I don't think so.
I'm on God's time now. That's the best way to be. Yes. That's the best way to be. And it was funny because I remember as I got older, this sounds crazy. I feel like a lot of guys are disrespectful of women's time. You know what I mean? And I remember as I got older, once I met this girl, I can't even remember where I met her at, and she was cool. And we was kind of kicking it for a while. But once I got to a point where I was like, this isn't going to go anywhere outside of dating, I remember she cussed my black ass the fuck out too. But I remember going, I thought I was doing the right thing. I went to her and I was like, hey, you cool? But I'm going to be honest, I don't see this going anywhere aside from dating. And the last thing I want to do is waste your time. And she cussed my black ass out. But it was funny, and I just like, whatever. It was blah, 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 let it. But it was funny because I remember running into her years later, and she came up to me and said, I appreciate that you did that. And in hindsight, that was very mature and respectful of you, because I was like, what? I'm not going to just sit around and play with you for 4 or 5 years. I ain't got the time to do that shit. I don't want to do that. Like 4 or 5 years, you got to put a ring on it. What the hell?
That's what I'm about to say. I don't see why she cussed you out. I appreciate honesty. Like, I tell a man from day one, yo, be honest with me. Don't feel like you're going to hurt my feelings. Tell me the truth. It may actually hurt my feelings, but I will respect it and I will appreciate it. Oh, my God.
Right. So I think to close out this topic, what we're talking about now is, we got to stop buying into, I think, and I call it the American dream syndrome. For so long, we've been taught about, you had a wife, you had 2.5 kids, the picket fence, the minivan in the driveway. For most people, a lot of times the American dream turned into the American nightmare. So we have to define our own dreams. We define what we want in relationships and what a successful relationship is. But like I said, it's two paths you can go down. You can go down the path of, and the other thing is too, I'm not necessarily opposed to, it's not the fact that a person has debt, or it's not the fact that a person, isn't good with money. I think I can work with that. You know what I mean? If I'm with somebody, but if through having conversation, I see that, oh, they understand it, I can see them making those changes, then I'd be like, okay, like I know I never asked you to marry me if you terrible with money. But if we kicking it and I see through this relationship, like, damn, over the past 8 months, those conversations we had, she put in the work. She paid off a few things and she asked me questions about a budget. So I think you got to give a little bit of grace to people, because we all start somewhere. You know what I mean?
I totally agree with that, because that's something I said to someone I was dating before. It's the thing where, like you said, it's not you don't actually have to come like be the full package. Like, you got it all together. You debt free and you completely stable. I don't want to depend on how old you are.
Fair point. Age is a factor. I will give you that. If you 47 and you still like your credit card debt and you paying the minimums, get the fuck out of there.
Like you said, like, I'm willing to give grace. Like, my thing is, if you may not be that great in this area, but if you're willing to allow me to help you, I can work with you. If you have the attitude of, this is my stuff, don't worry about it, I got this, but you ain't really got it, just go on.
Right.
And Journey to Wisdom and Wealth, she said something that I was like, yes. When she said, like, lately she's just been going against the norm. That's how I'm living life right now. Because, I did dream of being a mother, being a wife, having this certain type of lifestyle. Now I'm just like, I see things totally different now. Like, not saying I never want to get married. I'm not sure if I want to have kids again. I don't know about that part. But I don't view my life as, I have to do this. I have to be a wife. I have to be a mother. I don't see life like that anymore. And since I've been glowing ever since,
Right.
Doing whatever makes me happy.
Yeah, but that's because, like, I'm gonna be real, and I'm not saying this to get brownie points with the ladies, but society pushes so many conform norms on women. It ain't that many norms on guys. Like, for guys, like, whatever, you can be like low key as a guy, we are taught, like, you know what? The older you get and the more stable you become, the better looking you are to women. So, like, at the age of 41 right now, if I keep going down the path, that's what guys are taught. Guys, like, my father literally was like, oh, guys is weird. Like, for guys, the older you get, the more attractive you're going to be to women, because you're going to be more established, and that's what kind of women like to see. So society don't put a lot of things for us to conform on. But for women, it's like, oh, you don't got a baby, you don't got this, you don't got that. And like for me, like just do you. Just do you, focus on you, and that shit'll come. Cause my mother always say, this is a line that the pastor always say. She'd be like, be careful what you ask for, be careful what you pray for, right? She's like, and I love my father, but she says this about my father. She said, I'll never forget, I actually prayed. She's like, it's an art to prayer. She said, I actually prayed. She was like, Lord, send me a tall man with mixed gray hair, with light eyes. And she was like, and he sent them to me too. She was like, well, I didn't know he was the devil, but the God sent them to me. He sends you exactly what you asked for. Yes. So just do you. I think that's the cool way to close it out. So before we get out of here, I always want to give thanks to everybody who tuned in. I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in, everybody who commented. Shout out to JT for dropping the super chat. I appreciate you, brother. And before we go ahead, give your information, throw out where everybody can find you at. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to her channel. She almost at 1K. We want to get her to 1K. So y'all go out, reach out, show us some love. Go ahead, drop all your info.
So again, here on YouTube, I am Jasmine Janae, no space. So if you just type it in, Jasmine Janae, no space between the names. You can check me out over there, lifestyle channel, so you get a little bit of everything. You never know what you might get over there, okay? And then if you want to follow me on Instagram, right now I'm on a social media detox, so I'm not on there. I'm not active right now on Instagram, but still go ahead and follow me. I am _ Jasmine Janae, as well as TikTok. I am _ Jasmine Janae. Check it out. I'm pretty sure you'll love what you see. And if you don't, let me know why, because I didn't want to know.
Right. Hey, that's real talk. I tell people all the time, I love people, and you got some people who support you and watch everything, and I'm so grateful for. Yeah. But I tell people all the time, man, it's so hard to watch every video everybody got. I just be so grateful that y'all watch something. Watch what draw y'all attention. You ain't got to watch everything. Just watch what draw y'all attention.
Right.
And, let me know. Do I need to start making thumbnails like this? I like it. Hey, y'all let me know what y'all want. So, hey, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thanks, family.
Thank you for having me. This was a great conversation.
Yeah, we gonna do it again. Always. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate everybody tuned in. Y'all be blessed. Enjoy y'all weekend. Have a good one. Peace.
God bless.